Okay. Hi, I'm here. Everybody. Just hold on a second. Good morning. Okay. Yeah, what if I just do this? Wait a second. Just kidding. Okay. Whew. All right, that's good. Okay. Okay. Oh my God. Oh, is this Addison Rae? Nothing like a little Addison Rae to start off the day. All right. Okay. Here I am. Good morning. Good morning. What a morning I've had so far. Yeah, this is Caroline in the AM. Whew. I had set my alarm. It's a bop. You know what? If a bop's a bop, it's a bop. If a bop is a bop, doesn't matter who did it, it's a bop. So I set my alarm for 7 this morning. And I woke up, and then I must have fallen back asleep because I was tie-tie. And then I woke
morning,
up
comrade.
again. Maddie Hero, thank you for the 26 months. Then I woke up again, but it's because a car alarm was going off. But I was so confused because I thought it was my alarm, and I was like, what? And I kept trying to turn my alarm off, and then I finally realized it was a car alarm outside. It went off for 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Your hair looks cute. This is how I slept. Thank you. This is literally I fell asleep with my hair like this. So it's the just, roll out of bed. And so then I come outside and be like, where is that my car alarm? What's happening? And my freezer had melted and it was just all over my kitchen. I came out and there was water all in my kitchen. And I was like, you know what? Fucking hell. This is too early. I was like, I need to go live. I was telling the water on my floor, I was like, I need to go live. I cannot deal with you. Is this related to the car alarm? It's separate, but this is basically just what happened in my morning. Are you doing NPR? Like, am I doing National Public Radio right now, or are there rumors swirling that I'm I'm doing NPR? Listen here, water. I can't deal with you right now. Okay. You know what? Actually, I always thought that I would have a good voice for NPR. Hi, this is Caroline Kwan, and you're listening to NPR. Good morning. It's June 18th, and this is NPR. Many are saying, maybe that's what I should do. I should just be an NPR person. I'm just going to go back to my lib era. This message is brought to you from NPR. Thank you for joining us. Voice for radio, face for movies? Okay, hold on. It's too early for these compliments. Anywho, how are we doing this morning? Farlito's in bed. He's sleeping. He's sleeping next to his dad. Good, and you? Yeah. Fine. Fine. Just fine. I check headlines when you go live. Always a worrisome state of affairs. Well, I it's a weird thing covering. It's a weird thing when you do news, because especially when you do a variety of news, because you're like, okay, what's happening in the world? Well, let's see. The U.S. and Israel continue to escalate with Iran, and not looking good over there. But also, Tom Cruise is finally going to get an honorary Oscar. And this is Wednesday's news. We've got war with Iran, but Tom Cruise is going to be presented with an honorary Oscar. And that's the news. Brought to you this morning on NPR. Does he deserve it? I think he does. Look, Tom Cruise has been saving cinema. Kwan News Network. Ya boy Leon, thank you for the 2 months. Sorry for all the kids having to learn about World War III in the future. I mean, you know what? The kids are learning now. We're gonna talk about the kids using ice, or using Roblox to protest, which is just amazing. I talked about this actually on the podcast with Sam yesterday, but it's one of those things where, like, I'm in this world, but I don't really understand Roblox. Like, I've done Dress to Impress one time, but I did not know how I didn't know how popular it is. Like, how many people are on the Roblox platform and are doing things like conducting, role playing in protests. And I guess they've been, this isn't the first time. The kids have been doing this. They did this in 2020 for George Floyd. They've been doing pro-Palestine protests. It's unbelievable. Yeah. So, you know what? The kids, as far as learning about World War III in the future, they're learning about stuff now in Roblox. I got sucked in on my FYP. It's like VR chat for normies. Yeah, and because I'm not on TikTok, I need to fucking get on TikTok. I miss out on these things. Like, I don't see these things. And, Taylor Lorenz, who does a lot of great reporting, she wrote a piece on this. And I want to watch some clips in TikTok. So if you find some good ones, my little TikTok users, please link those when we're talking about this, when we're covering it, so that we can watch some. Christian needs to give you a walkthrough of Roblox. I mean, Sam was explaining it to me on the pod. Like, she has done quite a bit of Roblox, but yeah, sometimes I feel like I'm tapped in, and then other times I'm like, oh my God, I am so not tapped in. The kids are protesting in Roblox? What? Yes, it's time. It's time for your mandatory scheduled TikTok time, everybody. I just use Insta, where good TikToks are filtered through. I mean, that's how I am with Twitter. A lot of times it's not like good TikToks. It's just ones that make it to Twitter and they go viral. Ted Cruz being so dumb and unlikable, the kids are praising Tucker Carlson for roasting him. I mean, man, we watched that clip last night and the full interview is coming out today. I don't know what time. I don't know if I'll be live when it comes out, but it's not a good state of media affairs when you have Tucker Carlson, who is better than 99% of like everyone else in media. It's not good. You know what's interesting too? I was thinking about this last night. I hate to say it, but like underneath his underneath his shtick and underneath his often very heinous, very propagandist views, he is a good, he can be a good interviewer. Like he has the capacity to do that. It's just for years and years, he has played the right-wing game of just, sensationalism, misinformation, etc. And then you watch an interview like that, you go, okay, I see. Because before you became a Fox News star, like, he was a journalist. He has worked in this for a long time. He knows how to ask the questions that should be asked. Didn't he come out recently and say Fox News is propaganda for old people? Yes, he did. And it's like, oh, so when you were on Fox News for 15 years and you had the #1 show, you were doing propaganda for old people. It's like, yeah, we all fucking know Fox News is propaganda for old people. But now Tucker Carlson is coming out and saying the thing that we all knew to be true. I think his Eminem coverage was incredible journalism. But that's what I mean is like all of that is rage bait, right? That's culture war bullshit, which he had done for so long because that's just what you do. And then you watch him here. If you missed it, we can watch the clip again. Here. This is the clip that we're talking about. And this is the full interview that comes out. But then, wait, I have to pull up Ted Cruz's response afterwards.
No, I don't know the population.
You don't know the population?
I don't know the population.
At all?
No, I don't know the population.
You don't know the population of the country you seek to topple?
How many people living around?
92 million.
Okay. Yeah,
How could you not know that?
Insane.
I don't sit around memorizing population tables.
Well, it's kind of relevant.
Oh, sorry, I'm no big city population expert. Excuse me.
You're calling for the overthrow of the government.
Why is it relevant whether it's 90 million or 80 million or 100 million? Why is that
because if
relevant?
you don't know anything about the country...
I didn't say I don't know anything about
Okay, what's the ethnic mix of Iran?
They are Persians and predominantly Shia. Okay, this is cute.
It's not
okay.
even... You don't know...
I love this moment, too, where he was like, oh, my God, oh, my God, oh, my God. Oh, wait. Oh, hold on a second. They're Persian. Yep. Ha, gotcha.
Anything about Iran. So
okay,
actually,
I am not the Tucker Carlson expert on Iran.
You're a senator who's calling for the overthrow of the government.
You're the one who
claims... know anything about the country.
No, you don't know anything about the country. You're the one who claims they're not trying to murder Donald Trump. You're the one who can't figure out if it was a good idea to kill General Soleimani, and you said it was bad.
You don't believe they're trying to murder Trump.
Yes, I do.
Because you're not calling for military strikes against them in retaliation. And if you really believe that...
We're carrying out military strikes today.
I
you said Israel was.
Right.
Yeah, we are, baby. We're going to be bombing Iran.
With our help. I said we. Israel is leading them, but we're supporting them.
Well, you're breaking news here because the U.S. government last night denied, the National Security Council spokesman Alex Pfeiffer denied on behalf of Trump that we were acting on Israel's behalf in any offensive capacity.
No, we're not bombing them. Israel's bombing them.
You just said we were.
We are supporting
this is
Israel.
High stakes. You're a senator. If you're saying the United States government is at war with Iran right now, people are listening.
Okay.
Yeah. Tucker Carlson could still do a good interview, but he's a white supremacist who's bought and paid by Russia now instead of Fox News. Straight up. Like, you just have to figure out who's daddy, and daddy's paying, right? Daddy's paying, but who's daddy? However, this is insane. This is insane because we are so used to mainstream media, both on the right, in the center, liberal media, just buying and also selling the propaganda where you don't see pushback like this at all. And so having this come from Tucker Carlson, you just go, oh my God, man. I'm exhausted, okay? Between like the Tucker Carlson, Marjorie Taylor Greene, with her long ass tweets, America first, but saying like no war against Iran, you go, God damn it. Yeah, I mean, yes, you're horrible, but yes. And then Anna Kasparian, who has been eating, I fear, I'm sorry. Anna Kasparian went on CNN. She ate down, okay? I'm tired of these people who are normally not great I will say, for the most part, of course, Anna is better than like a MTG and a Tucker, but a lot of views of hers that consistently, especially around trans people and the way she rails against the woke left, but she's been like right here.
Because, look, I think this is a problem regardless of what administration is in charge. We should not engage in this war. Look, there's a lot of saber rattling. There's a lot of fear mongering about Iran building nuclear weapons, even though the intel is obviously contradicting. You have Israel saying weeks ago, they shared their intel with the United States and the administration rejected it. Our intelligence community rejected it. They said Iran is not weeks away from building a nuclear weapon. But you want to know something? There are two countries in this whole scenario that do have nuclear weapons. One, of course, is the United States of America.
Yes.
The other, they don't acknowledge it, is Israel. So they act like, oh, we're just little.
I mean, yes. Yeah, she is spot on. And do you notice how no one on this CNN panel denies it? Like, they don't push back on her. Because this is 1,000,000 bajillion % true.
And it's such a big threat. Okay, the whole thing about nuclear weapons, the reason why the United States can't allow Ukraine to do whatever it wants against Russia is because they're a nuclear power. It is a deterrent.
Ukraine had nukes, remember.
Israel doesn't want Iran to have a deterrent. Now, in a perfect world, neither of those countries would have nuclear weapons, but one of them does, and the one that does loves to cry about how it's always under threat while it's bombing Iranian embassies in places like Syria, while it's literally allowing its IDF soldiers to shoot at international diplomats as they're visiting Jenin. Like, are we ever going to at least address the belligerence of the current Israeli government?
Also shooting at people in Gaza when they're trying to get aid. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, this is Anna when she's at her best. You know, this feels like old Anna, even though, you know, these are the types of topics she's always been spot on. She just got so pulled down in her own shit about birthing persons and like this victimhood, this victim mentality where like the woke left was targeting her and she, you know, it's just gotten out of control and whatnot. Yeah, but like she's on issues like this, she's so good and she is spot on because that is the truth, right? That for decades now, the U.S.'s policy has been total silence, right? Ambiguity around Israel's nuclear program, which is the worst kept secret. Everybody knows that Israel has nukes and they refuse inspection. The last president to even try and rein them in a little bit was JFK. And the media has also gone along with it. I mean, there have only been a few instances. Like in 2008, one time, there was a reporter who asked Obama about Israel's nuclear program. And he just did the standard, I'm not talking about that, blah, 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 blah. But reporters will be denied access. Like they know, the press knows that they have to go along. And now this is a panel, so this is different than just like regular reporting on CNN, because the press knows that they have to go along with the song and dance of like, what? Israel has nukes? So we're not saying anything about it. We don't know. We're neither confirming nor denying. My take, she'll put on her progressive pants back on during a mainstream news piece like this in order to bring progressive-leaning liberals to her audience just to fool them into thinking she's a real progressive voice nowadays. Yeah, I mean, you know, Anna, like when she's right, she's right. She's just wrong on a lot of other things. But this is the type of stuff that like she should focus on and she should always be going hard on. Israel has nukes. Insert Futurama shocked meme. Oh my God, I'm shocked. Okay, look at Ted Cruz's response to the Tucker clip that's going viral and everyone's cooking his ass. Hope y'all are having a good day. Fuck ICE, free Palestine. Hell yeah. Did a long interview with Tucker. He released a snippet playing a gotcha on the population of Iran. I declined to play that silly game. Watch the full 2-hour interview where Tucker attacks Trump, attacks the AIPAC lobby, and falsely claims Iran is not trying to assassinate Trump. I'm sorry, what in that are we supposed to go, oh no? Oh, that sounds based? Like, obviously that is for the MAGA audience because there's a civil war that has been happening within MAGA, right? Between the real America First MAGA and then the fake America First MAGA. And so the divisions have been deepening, and you've got the real America First MAGA on one side who are like, you know, no more foreign wars. America first means America first, like securing our border, you know, locking this shit down and not giving endless money and our military to a foreign state, which, like, yeah, that's yes to the second part of that. And then you have the fake America First MAGA, the neocon warhawks, the Lindsey Grahams, the, you know, the MAGA, but not the like MAGA base, the we bow down to Donald Trump, but have been in office for a million years and we just love war and we profit from war and we can't get enough war and we're also racist old fucks who I cannot believe we are still alive and still in Congress, but here we are. Cruz not knowing about population is consequential because destabilizing a huge diverse country like Iran can lead to all sorts of civil wars, sectarian violence, essentially Iraq 2.0. Yeah, I mean, I think just even point blank, not knowing anything about a country that you are demanding a regime change over, that you are going in and bombing because of this regime change that you are pushing for, and yet you know nothing about this country and its people. You know nothing about like the internal chaos that this causes, that this will lead to, how like this destabilizes. Like Iran is not a monolith. And also, we've been here before many times. What happens when the U.S. goes in and forces a change of the government, and then it just leads to internal destabilization, and then also destabilizes the region further. Tad said, why do I need to know what the pop of Iran is? Tucker, are you dumb? Yeah, I mean, more of that, right? More of looking at these assholes and being like, oh, you're stupid. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, I'm talking to a stupid person. Oh, I understand now. Oh, yeah, I got it. I got it. Yeah, the plan is, insert Nathan Fielder. The plan is, we're going to stabilize by destabilizing. That's the plan. We are going to stabilize by destabilizing. The plan is simple. Listen, boys. Here's the plan. All right, here's Johnny Boy. Did Trump actually threaten to attack Iran? Yes, he has been. He's been tweeting out shit like, in all caps, unconditional surrender, demanding that a population of 10 million in the capital city of Tehran, that they evacuate. He's like openly talking about assassinating the supreme leader. Like, there is no, wait, did he threaten to attack Iran? They are attacking Iran, first of all. Second of all, he's been saying all sorts of crazy shit, like the things I just mentioned. Oh my God, wait a second.
I also don't know the population of Iran. AMA about my plan for us to be greeted as liberators.
Wait, where is that message? Hold on. Trump shares Huckabee's lengthy text message. Do you want to see... Wait, what the hell is going on? Hold on a second. Do you want to see the most embarrassing thing? I'm sorry, but you will die. You may die of absolute and total cringe. Okay? I just need to warn you. I just need to warn you for a second. All right. I deadass thought this message was fake. No. This is Mike Huckabee. This is Mike. If you don't know Chuckles, if you do not know Mike Chuckles, he is the current ambassador to Israel, and he is insane. He is fucking insane. Mike Huckabee. So this is a text message that Mike Chuckles Huckabee sent to Trump that Trump then posted on his Truth Social. Because I said yesterday, Trump looks at countries like Iran and goes, wait a sec, they have a supreme leader? Like, you know how he doesn't know shit about shit? He'll hear something like supreme leader of Iran and go, well, maybe I should be the supreme leader. Like, that's the thing that like, that's what he wants. He wants titles like that. He loves people treating him like the holy supreme leader. This is how Donald Trump's brain works, okay? He doesn't like support Israel or do these things because he is ideologically driven in the way that a Joe Biden, who's like, I'm the biggest Zionist in the world, is. Donald Trump is driven by his supreme narcissism, where he wants to be seen as the greatest leader of all time. He wants to win the Nobel Peace Prize, okay? He wants to be held up and revered and feared, and he wants to be God. That's how he wants people to see him. So listen to this text message that Chuckles sent to Trump. Mr. President, God spared you in Butler, Pennsylvania, to be the most consequential president in a century, maybe ever. Trump's like, I'm listening. The decisions on your shoulders I would not want to be made by anyone else. You have many voices speaking to you, sir, but there is only one voice that matters. His voice. I am your appointed servant in this land and am available for you, but I do not try to get in your presence often because I trust your instincts. No president in my lifetime has been in a position like yours. Not since Truman in 1945. I don't reach out to persuade you, only to encourage you. I believe you will hear from heaven, and that voice is far more important than mine or anyone else's. You sent me to Israel to be your eyes, ears, and voice, and to make sure that our flag flies above our embassy. My job is to be the last one that leaves. I will not abandon this post. Our flag will not come down. You did not seek this moment. This moment sought you. It is my honor to serve you, Mike Huckabee. Okay, first of all, it kills me when somebody sends a text message that clearly the person like is supposed to have their number, but then they sign off with their full name. This is like the most boomer ass shit ever. Where you send a whole thing and then, by the way, it's Mike Huckabee, in case you didn't know. Hi, it's me. In case you didn't save my number. You know, I am your ambassador to Israel and I am your revered servant. I am your loyal, humble servant. But also, in case you don't know who this is, it's Mike Huckabee. Hi. It's me. Okay. All right. Oxty Spala, thank you for the 5 months. Nonstop Otter Pop, thank you for the 33. DD, thank you for the bits. He is such a loser. Oh my God. This is what I was talking about yesterday.
Morning.
This is what I was talking about yesterday, where these people are so psychotic, okay? And these conservative, right-wing Christian fundamentalists will turn to Iran and be like, extremism, and be like, look at how this religion is being used to oppress these poor people. We need to liberate them. While then sending a message being like, to the president being like, God is speaking to you and God is saying, bomb them all. And sir, I'll be right by your side. I mean, come on, man. These conservatives look at conservatives in other states and go bad, but us good. Like, how is this religious extremism A-okay, but religious extremism elsewhere? No okay. Someone was reading this yesterday. I thought it was just some crazy random on X. No, it's fucking Mike Huckabee. This guy has been saying for years too. He's always talking about the voices. Okay, he's always talking about like, oh, God has told me that we must support the people of Israel because that is the Holy Land and the rapture. Like, he is a Christian extremist. And he is the ambassador to Israel. Like, that's what we got going on here. Like, sir, no, I know, I'm sorry, but is this not cause for alarm? Remember too, the video we were watching yesterday where it was like, oh, in Iran, they don't have separation of church and state. I'm like, oh yeah, unlike in the United States where we have separation of church and state, where we don't have political officials talking about hearing the voice of God, talking about how God is directing them to this, to these activities in the Middle East, that God is speaking directly to them. Yeah, the voices that are telling us we just got to go to war again. Okay, we just got to blow up. We just got to blow up more people in the Middle East because God has said so. I mean, it's the insane double standard, the hypocrisy, are we going to act like in the United States we don't have religious extremism that is driving our politics, that we don't have concentrated power in this country that is coming from the fundamental Christian right that has been pushing very, very repressive legislation and has been succeeding, that they were able to federally ban access to abortion. They overturned Roe versus Wade. That is something they've been trying to do for decades, and they accomplished it. But separation of church and state, am I right? The oldest excuse in the book, literally, God told me. Well, you know what? God told me, Mike Huckabee, that you poop your pants. Hold on a second. Incoming call from God. Okay, yeah, God just said that Mike Huckabee poo-poos his pants and makes a big stinky. Yeah, no, I'll be sure to tell everybody that. Yeah, God is really spilling right now. Sorry, I just got a vision. I'm like Raven. That's so Kwan Vin. This is 10 years old, but Huckabee defended the Duggar family of the Josh allegations. Huckabee is horrible. Okay, this guy, I mean, truly, the things that he has said about Palestinians over the years, not a man of God. All right, for being such a man of God, not a man of God. For being a pee-pee poo-poo man of God, the things that he has said about, not just the Palestinian people, but a lot of groups of people who Jesus would tell us we should extend our hand to, that we should ensure the safety of, to take care of. Mike Huckabee's over here like, the voices of God are telling me that actually these people don't exist. That actually these people don't deserve rights. I'm like, is this the same God? What God is this? Am getting headache from this as a person. Okay, you know what? Let's all. I know it's like the type of thing that it makes your brain spin. Okay, it makes your brain spin. And I'm sorry, this kind of stuff has been driving me crazy, and that's why I come here and I'm like, this shit's driving me crazy. This shit is driving me crazy, and it does. Like it makes your head spin. It makes your head spin, and. Okay, anyway, let's listen to Jon Stewart. Let's watch. To have to act all the time as if this shit is so awesome. Like, that this is just, oh man, you guys, if you know, you know, right? If you know, you know just how sick this is. Like, this was killing me. Jack Posobiec, famed white nationalist, when he's like, what a great parade. This shit sucks. I'm just saying it, okay? Not even from a what are your politics? This is a bad, boring parade. Look at this shit. Me when I lie. Me when I lie. Wow!
Look at the gun.
Whoa!
Yeah!
Negative aura!
Let's go!
Negative aura. Oh, God. Man. You know what? I'll believe the kids because kids will find anything fun. The adults, yeah, like it's a WWE match. Fuck yeah! Oh shit! Oh fuck, man! God, that shit goes hard. What a parade! What a parade! Holy moly, Joel! Jolly Joel. Jolly Joel. Jolly Joel. Thank you for the 25 gifted subs. Appreciate you. Holy Batman. Maybe he's really into that online tank game where they leak designs and stuff. Maybe.
Meanwhile, the real crowds.
The adults gift subs. No, the adults watched squeaky tanks roll down the streets of DC and destroy the shit out of them. And then scream like it's the greatest thing that they've ever seen. Was music illegal at the parade? I mean, honestly, how many fucking times can they listen to Proud to Be an American? I have to believe that at this point, a lot of these people are actually sick of the song, but they pretend otherwise. Because they got like 5 songs on repeat. They got YMCA, because otherwise artists keep copyright striking Trump. They're like, I'm not giving permission for you to use my music. So yeah, they've got they've got YMCA, which is so funny. They have Proud to Be an American. They have Kid Rock. I just Kid Rock. Yeah, and it's like you compare this to pride parades in June. I'm sorry. Like I almost, you know what? I almost feel bad for people who this is their version of a parade, because man, how boring is that shit? I want better for you, you know? There's like fun parades out there. There's you can have fun. You can have genuine fun, but it ain't gonna be at stuff like this. North Korea parades have more aura. Andy, thank you for the 22 months. Pretty soon, Phantom of the Opera at the rallies. You know what? Yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be Cats and Phantom of the Opera at the Trump. Okay, I use my mother as an example all the time. But please do not sleep on radicalizing the libs. Do not sleep on radicalizing wine moms, okay? My mother texted me photos of George Soros's son and Huma Abedin's wedding in the Hamptons. And she was like, this is the Democratic Party. As we, the people, march for our country, they frolic in the Hamptons eating caviar. And I was like, oh, so what I'm hearing is that the Democratic Party is not the party that's going to step in and save the day here. I mean, that's bars, right? Joel, thank you for another 5 gifted subs. Like, this is, okay, the No Kings Parade, that was mobilization. Now we need organization. We need to push, like, think about it, okay? A lot of us at one point, and please, if you're like, actually, I was always very far to the left. From when I was a baby, I woke up and I was, I opened my eyes into this world and I was reading Marx. I was reading Chomsky, like, from when I was a baby. Okay, a lot of people, their journey is like this. I was born with a hammer and a sickle. I was born with class consciousness. I was created in the left testicle. I woke up left-handed. Like, I was here, okay? I was a person who, I went to protests like this as a liberal. And for a while, that was the extension of my radicalization. That was the extension of me in my political beliefs. It was like a sign saying I'm with her, okay? Like, hell hath no fury like a scorned woman. Stuff like that, okay? It's time to make her story. That's where I was. And then I moved past that point. So I'm not of the belief to look at something like this to see how many people were energized. And I hear the argument of like, oh, this has killed the momentum of the non-liberal organized ICE, anti-ICE protests. But I look at this and I go, this is the beginning for a lot of people. People are on their path that is going to move them past the belief that the Democratic Party is going to save the working class in this country. Like, they're out here, they mobilized, and they're looking for they're looking for a direction to place this anger and this energy. Do you know that Will's dad was friends with RBG in college? They went to Cornell at the same time she dated his friend. I did know that. Will's dad has a lot of lore. So anyway, I use my mother as an example, but because my mom, I'm sorry, this is so funny. I know you timed this person out, but I just want to address this person really quickly, and anybody else. Who do you think is obsessed with Hassan here? Me or you? Who's the one mentioning Hassan's name here? Me or you? This is called Hassan derangement syndrome, where anybody who is at all on the left on Twitch talking about things, you go, oh my fucking God. Oh, you're just like Hassan, huh? Oh, fuck. It's you. You're the one who's obsessed. Ain't nobody saying his name except for you. You cannot get enough. You can't get enough. It is not normal. I'm just letting you know, Okay? It is not fucking normal to have your life and your brain revolve around this man. That, like, anybody who talks about Palestine, anyone who talks about the anti-ICE protests, anyone who's on the left, you're like, Hassan, oh yeah, you're just like Hassan, aren't you? Can't stop thinking about him. Oh, stupid, sexy Hassan. Oh yeah, I fucking hate that guy, but I can't stop obsessing over him. Yeah, you're so obsessed with Hassan, huh? Not me. Not me, even though I'm always the one who's bringing his name up, even though everything in my life revolves around him, even though I go into other streamers' chats just so I can talk about him. Yeah, because Hassan is the only person that exists in my little brain. Truly, it is amazing. It is amazing when you realize that the party who is obsessed with Hassan is the person who is always talking about Hassan, okay? You know what? The implication that Haas invented leftism. Yeah, no, he did. So if you're just now finding that out, if you look up leftism in the dictionary, it's just his picture. It's his photo. It's HDS, Hassan derangement syndrome. All right. Mark saw Hassan, was like, I want to be just like you. It's truly. This is what happens when you get brain rotted, okay? When the internet cooks your brain, that you lose the capacity to be whatsoever normal. Can you imagine going to like going out in the real world, going to one of these protests, okay? Going to a rally where they are trying to unionize workers and being like, oh yeah, so you guys dick ride Hassan, huh? Yeah, the reason that you guys are here, all you blue collar workers, is because you're so obsessed with Hassan, huh? These people would be like, who the fuck are you? Huh? It's not normal, man. Like it's also projection. And this is the last thing I'm going to say, and then we're going to go back to this. But it's projection. Every accusation is a confession. Truly. You are incapable of forming your own beliefs outside of what, like, your hatred of Hassan dictates. Then you have the opposite positions of, probably because you listen to a certain streamer who hates Hassan, and therefore you base all of your opinions and beliefs off of that. Like, you cannot think for yourself. You cannot be on your own journey. You don't read. None of those things. So therefore you think that everyone else is also incapable, that they are also you. Katie. Oh my God. Anyway, yeah, we're free thinkers over here, okay? We are free thinkers. Diner Spash, thank you for the 26 months. Blue Ald, thank you for the 3 months. Joel, thank you for another gifted sub. Deanie, thank you for the bits. Okay, anyway. Donald Trump hates this shit. How many years has he spent mocking soldiers, mocking the military, mocking veterans? He thinks this shit is stupid. He looks down. He looks down on this his whole life. But he does this because he's trying to play the part, okay? He knows who his base is. He knows who his base is, and he's like, yeah, I got to do this shit. But he would rather be at Cats. That's the truth of it. Rather than have a military parade with tanks rolling down the streets. He wants to be on Broadway. Didn't he call the soldiers foolish? He calls them suckers and losers. That's what he said about dead soldiers. Suckers and losers. He has consistently mocked the military, mocked people who have died fighting for years. Like, that is a thing. That is very much so a thing that Donald Trump does. In my headcanon, it was Hegseth's idea to cheer him for his birthday, and Trump just tuned out saying he'd rather be watching his shows. It's like, I'd rather watch my shows. Yeah, plus he's a draft dodger. Yes. Yeah, he said, I like soldiers that don't get captured. That's what he said about John McCain. So, he's never said that. Yeah. Oh my fucking God. Yes, he has, man. Yes, he has. There are so many. Like, remember when he was golfing? Remember when he skipped the soldier memorial for the golf dinner? Like, he is constantly doing this shit that is just, you know, a thing that presidents don't do. When fallen soldiers are returned home, you as the president are supposed to be there. And instead, Donald Trump goes golfing. Like, that's how he is. Okay, so why I'm explaining that Donald Trump having a military parade is a show for his base. To be fair, we're all dodging the draft. No, don't get me wrong. Okay, don't get me wrong. Donald Trump dodging the draft is not the thing that I have a problem with him over. It's for the hog base of making the army great again, make America great again, right? All that shit.
That show about that stuff, fun, carefree, light, enjoyable.
And yes, good point, Meg. He didn't dodge the draft for morality reasons, right? He didn't dodge the draft the way Muhammad Ali refused to enlist and then was blacklisted for 7 years, right? And refused to enlist because of, you know, for morality reasons. Donald Trump dodged it because he was a rich kid and was like, I'm not doing this shit. Right? Like, rich kids don't have to do this stuff. This is for the poors. This is for the poors to go over and you know, give up their bodies and their minds for the American empire. Not me. I'm fucking rich. No, we're supposed to benefit from the American empire, not die by it. Ali was a pussy. Oh, yeah? Muhammad Ali was a pussy? Fred0130, who's typing that in a Twitch chat. God, I really, the delusions that some of y'all entertain are, I'm honestly impressed. I am so impressed that you, a loser sitting typing on your computer the words Ali was a pussy, that this is a thing, that you think anybody would even entertain. Oh man, God, people amaze me. I think he's joking. I think it's actually more likely that is someone coming in to say Ali was a pussy, because this is Twitch and this is Twitch chat. And these are people who sit there and type things out, type things out in a Twitch chat or on a place like Twitter. Muhammad Ali was a bitch. And I think, yeah. So, no, I don't think that's... I think you think that that's a joke because it's such a ridiculous thing to say. You know? Why are all the hogs in here today? Because the hogs are squealing, all right? They're stressed. They're panicking. They don't know what to do because there's been a great divide. There's a divide in the hog pen, and they're running around. They're running around, and they're like, well, shit, are we supposed to, do we want to bomb Iran, or are we taking the side of not bombing Iran? It's the hogs gone wild. Hogs gone wild. They're on defense and offense. They're very confused. They're very, very confused. No doubt that chatter was banned in denims and Kremlo chats. Oh, see, let me just tell you guys, okay? As a reminder that when you're a streamer who does any type of commentary in the world of politics, okay? When you are a leftist and you at all espouse that leftism, you get used to this shit. It's like there's no pulling a fast one anymore. There's no like nothing that we haven't seen before. We've seen every type of chatter. They literally don't know what to do. They were told their lives would get better. It just keeps getting worse and worse. So the Trump circuits are malfunctioning. A lot of them are like, wait a sec, I thought we were going to deport the criminals. Why are you doing this to my neighbor? He's a good guy. Wait a sec. He's not a criminal. He's a hardworking dude. I thought we were going after the rapists and the criminals. Like, sir, please, sir. Wait, sir, why are we going into Iran? I thought we said we weren't going to do Middle East wars. I thought those were the things that the Democrats did. Sir, please, sir. What's going on, sir? Joel, thank you for another gifted sub. Did you or Will go to any of the recent ICE protests? Just curious. Honestly, has there been anything as consistent throughout certainly my entire life and many of yours that as Iran is close to building the bomb, that Iran almost has a nuclear bomb, that Iran is building a nuclear bomb and is days away? Has anything been as consistent as Iran almost has a nuke? Iran's about to have a nuke? Since the day I was born. North Korea, same thing. Well, North Korea has nukes. Because North Korea went, oh, nukes is a deterrent? You're gonna fuck our shit up if we don't have nukes, then we're gonna get nukes and we're gonna hold on to those nukes. And guess what? It worked. It worked. But as far as a country that has never had nukes and that has capitulated to nuclear arms deals, that has allowed inspections of their programs, that has had U.S. national intelligence sign off and be like, yeah, no, they're good. They're not building a bomb. For decades, the line has been Iran is about to have a nuke. People will argue the only reason Iran doesn't have nukes is because they keep getting bombed. Because it's a deterrent for not having a nuke. Huh. Yeah, as if like they were to, if they were to get a nuke and actually be close to a nuke, the bombing would not happen as it has. As the original leftist, it's the Will Neff doctrine. Get nukes if you don't have them. And once you have a nuke, do not give up your nukes. Either everyone has nukes or nobody has nukes. Preferably, nobody has nukes. But this idea that, like, you get a nuke, but shh, we won't talk about it. You don't get a nuke. You don't even get to, like, think about having a nuke. A reminder, I keep saying this, but in March, at the end of March, Tulsi Gabbard testified in front of the U.S. Congress that Iran was not building nuclear weapons and that Supreme Leader Khamenei had not authorized the nuclear weapons program that had been suspended in 2003. So for 22 years, the nuclear weapons program has been suspended and had not been reauthorized. And when reporters asked Trump about Tulsi's testimony, he said, I don't care what she said. I think they were very close to having a nuclear weapon. It's so stupid. Everything is so stupid. Everything is so stupid. Everything is so you know what? Okay. Here.
In 2019, SpaceX offered to buy out all of the residents.
This is my brain.
It wasn't safe for people to stay in the village.
This letter that SpaceX sent
apply this to anything, okay? This is obviously about Elon Musk, but apply this to anything.
But at the same time, SpaceX was moving their employees into town and expanding. Soon there were Airstream trailers lining the block, and a new name for the street that was once called Weem Street. Meme Street.
Everything is so stupid. Everything is so stupid. Everything is stupid. Everything is so stupid. So stupid. So stupid. Everything is so stupid. Everything is stupid. Everything is so stupid. So stupid. So stupid. Everything is so stupid. Everything is stupid. Everything is so stupid. So stupid. So stupid. Everything is so stupid. Everything is stupid. Everything is so stupid. So stupid. So stupid. What the fuck? I want to die. Die. Everything is die. So stupid. Die. Everything is die. So stupid. Die. What the die. So stupid. Die. What the die. So stupid. Die. How have you not seen this before? I do not know. This is a Blammo. This is a Blammo special. Die. I want to die. Everything is so stupid. Wait, where's the Tavia one? Stupid. Everything is so stupid. So stupid. So stupid. Everything is so stupid. Everything is stupid. Everything is so stupid. So stupid. So stupid. Everything is so stupid. Everything is stupid. This is kind of an earworm. I know. Okay, wait. Will someone link Tavia's? In case you're new to the stream here, we do a lot of musical theater. When Tulsi spoke, she spoke on behalf of the entire IC. So when Trump said, I don't care about what Tulsi testified for, he ignored all intelligence agencies. Yeah, no, he's literally like, I don't care. It is what I say it is. It is what I say it is. Here, actually, Tavia. What is her? Tavia, are you here? I don't know if I'll be able to find it. Paging Tavia. All right, if someone finds it. Please. Oh, wait, is this it? Yeah. Yes. The mainstream media has been singing Tomorrow from Annie about Iran's nuclear program since the 90s. Tomorrow, I swear tomorrow. I just want to say, for those who didn't see this yesterday, I was singing a cappella and then Tavia set music to it. So if it's off key, it's because I was not singing to music. I just want to state for the record, like Donald Trump does. Okay. I was originally singing a cappella. All right. Swear to God, tomorrow they'll have nukes tomorrow. It's why we have to just a disclaimer. Stabilize the whole region. Okay, this light is going off again. I think there's demons. I think there's 9112, thank you for the raid. When I'm stuck with a day that's gray and lonely, I just stick out my chin and grin and say, oh, the sun will come out. The sun being nukes. Tomorrow, bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow we'll be dead because Iran will have nuked us all. So it's why we have to strike them first, because it's preempted. Okay, now I'm going into the next part of the show. Tomorrow, Iran closes in on ability to build a nuclear bomb tomorrow. They're on the brink of nuclear bomb building in 6 to 7 months. Tomorrow is a day away. They're 2 months away from building a nuclear bomb. Tomorrow, they'll nuke us tomorrow. And so, if you want to not be nuked, stand up with me and say, we're just self-defending. That's right, everybody. Iran is going to nuke us tomorrow. In case you didn't hear, in case you didn't know, there's a song like this by Tom Lehrer called We Will All Go Together. Shout out to all the repressed theater kids, the one who just knitted their fist and kept up the charades. You're so fucking well. That MAGA who are, the MAGA people who are saying no more war in the Middle East, right? No more foreign wars, no more money there. It's because they want to crack down on the border. It's because they want ICE going in and destroying these communities. They're like, hello, why are we distracted overseas? We need to focus here at home, America first. That's right. War overseas? I don't think so. War at home? That's right. That's America first. Making America great again means going to war against our own people first. Hello, I'm Carolyn, and this is Kwan News Network. Charlie Kirk is the definition of a domestic enemy. I mean, honestly, he's dentists hate to see him coming, is what I will say. Do you have any resources for any anti-war protests? I mean, it depends on where you live, but you can definitely check out, like, look, depending, I know a lot of people have feelings about DSA and whatnot, but check out like the DSA in your area. They're always posting stuff. I know that there is, if you're in Los Angeles, there is a no war against Iran protest that is happening today by the outside of the Wilshire Federal Building, I believe. But yeah, DSA and PSL, they're really good about posting that stuff on Instagram. Yeah, we don't need war in Iran. We got war at home. That's right. No war in the Middle East, only war in Middle America. I also love this idea that Los Angeles is run by socialists. Wait, who was it that tweeted out about Zohran? And they said, every time New York elects a mayor like this, it falls into ruin. And of course, a lot of people responded was like, I'm sorry, when is the last time that New York City had a mayor that was on par with Zohran? What are we talking about? De Blasio? Eric Adams? Sorry, are you confused? Have you come from an alternate time universe? Giuliani? No, surely they were talking about Giuliani. But yeah, it's like this. It's so stupid. Everything is so stupid. Everything is so stupid. But that's what they say. They're like, oh yeah, these blue cities have fallen to the clutches of, the filthy, dirty commies and the socialists. When it's like, really? Because I look around and I see Karen Bass authorizing the LAPD to beat the shit out of protesters. That's what I see. I see Gavin Newsom personally going to destroy homeless encampments. That's what I see. I don't see any of these dirty socialists that you're talking about. A socialist candidate lost in a race in 1917. That was the last time a socialist ran. But it's of course because they group all, liberals, anybody who is center to the left, as it's just all the same, right? It's just, you use the same monikers. Did you see his response in a recent interview about the intensifying death threats he's gotten? Really broke my heart. Wait, who? Oh, Zohran? Sorry, wait, I just mentioned like a million names. Wait, it's this, right? I haven't watched this yet. Hold on.
City in this country. And I've said that because that is something I personally believe. And ultimately, to your question of why not a more visceral reaction, part of it has been colored by the fact that when I speak, especially when I speak with emotion, I am then characterized by those same rivals as being a monster, as being at the gates, language that describes almost a barbarian looking to dismantle civilization. And part of this is the very sad burden of what it means to be the first Muslim candidate to run for mayor, is to deal with dehumanizing language, to deal with a former governor who doesn't even view Muslims as being a part of this city sufficient that he would visit a mosque in the more than 10 years. And it pains me to be called an anti-Semite. It pains me to be painted as if I am somehow in opposition to the very Jewish New Yorkers that I know and love and that are such a key part of this city. And yet I know that when I share that emotion, I continue to face a language as if I am a beast. And it takes a toll to wake up in the morning and read messages that say things like, I get messages that say the only good Muslim is a dead Muslim. I get threats on my life. On the people that I love. And I try not to talk about it. Because the function of racism, as Toni Morrison said, is distraction. My focus has always been on making this a city that's affordable, on making this a city that every New Yorker sees themselves in. And it takes a toll, because this is a city that every single person deserves to be in. It's a city that we all belong to. And the thing that's making me proudest in this campaign is that the strength of our movement is built on our ability to have built something across Jewish and Muslim New Yorkers, across New Yorkers of all faiths and all backgrounds and all boroughs. And anti-Semitism is such a real issue in this city, and it has been hard to see it weaponized by candidates who do not seem to have any sincere interest in tackling it, but rather in using it as a pretext to make political points. And that's what I've tried to share. Thank you so much. Your final.
Oh God, I have a lot of thoughts about this. Could still be crocodile tears. All right. I just want please understand that crocodile tears, like what that means, okay? Because what you're doing is you are denying that this is his experience, right? Like by saying crocodile tears, which refers to a false display, right? That like it's insincere, which then makes it out to be that like this is not, yeah, there's only one croc tears here, and it's croc tears in chat, that this is not his daily experience before he was running for mayor and when he started running for mayor. Because the truth is that Islamophobia is so deeply, deeply ingrained in this country, and nobody gives a fuck. And as a Muslim person, you are expected to talk about anti-Semitism, but you are not allowed to talk about Islamophobia. You are not allowed to talk about the shit that you have had to deal with every fucking day of your life, of the systemic Islamophobia that is so normalized in the United States of America, that the way we talk about Muslims is to talk about them as terrorists, as a danger, as the only good Muslim is a dead Muslim. And somebody like him, who has dealt with this his entire fucking life, okay, who has been surveilled, who has been threatened before he ran for mayor, is still expected to talk only about anti-Semitism. And you hear him in that speech still. He takes care to talk about anti-Semitism in New York. Do you think that the people who are screaming about him being an anti-Semite give a fuck about Islamophobia? That as they're screaming about anti-Semitism, calling Zohran an anti-Semite, are like at all giving any credence to how ingrained Islamophobia is in our very systems, in our government, that right now you're seeing Islamophobia be applied to the people of Iran. Man, I mean, it is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. But unfortunately, in the US, because our foreign policy relies on Islamophobia being alive and well, relies on popular media, on our films and TV shows and mainstream news networks and political class and the public, maintaining this very, very harmful belief system around Muslims, because the interests of the American empire are intervening in the Middle East, are starting and supporting wars in the Middle East relies on that. How many times are we going to see this playbook, okay? How many times are we going to see this bigotry just out in the open? And not say anything about it. Not say enough is enough. Man, also, like, I'm gonna be so for real. It is a rarity. It is a rarity to see a politician be open like this, but especially one who is Muslim, especially one who has to deal with this on a daily basis, and is finally opening up about it and saying, you know what? This country hates Muslims. And there are a lot of Muslim people in this country who are contributing members of society. In a society that's saying that the only good one of you is a dead one. But Iran hates America. Let me ask you a question. If you lived in a country where your only understanding of the United States of America was the American flag that were on the bombs that were dropped on you, that your grandfather, members of your family died because of the American empire, because America and Israel, one and the same, mind you, have a long history of meddling in your country, of dropping bombs on your people. What do you think your perception of America, of the West, would be when you hear the things that they say on TV? When you hear American politicians talk about how people in the Middle East are animals, that they're uncivilized, that they know nothing about you and your people. But that is also making the assumption that every person in Iran hates America. And what I'm trying to explain is, maybe for those who have a negative perception of America, there's a good reason for that. But also, to say Iran hates America is to monolith every single person in that country as one and the same. So we shouldn't defend ourselves if they threaten us. Do you see, though, how you are always taking the position that America is the victim? That rather than ever being the aggressor, which, open a fucking history book. Please, read a fucking book. If you think that America is the victim of aggression in the Middle East rather than being the aggressor, you look at things the way that the American government has told you to. That's what it is. You have swallowed their lies. When they tell you these countries hate us because of freedom, because of our freedom, so we have to go in and we got to go to war against them. And you're like, oh yeah, okay, that sounds good. America number one. America, shining beacon of democracy, surely has never gone into these countries as the aggressor for their oil and power interests. Surely. Hook, line, and sinker. I understand your point of view. Okay, good. I'm glad, because it's time to wake up. Truly, it's time to wake up. We cannot let them do this to us again. All right, we have lived through this for the past 20 years after 9/11, where we spent trillions of dollars, where 1 million Iraqis died, where we set them on a path of permanent destabilization. We have been through this. In 1953, you know what we did in Iran? We destabilized their secular democracy. Did you know that in Iran, at one point, they were a democratic state? That they had a democratically elected president who was popular and who sought to nationalize the oil in Iran? And do you know what the West did? They came in and orchestrated a coup. We did a coup. And we got rid of the democratically elected leader and put in the Shah, who was incredibly repressive to Iran, but was in the pocket of the West. That's what we did. We went in and destroyed democracy in the name of democracy. And now here we are decades later saying, oh, well, we got to liberate these countries with our great democracy. We literally installed a king. Yes. We have done this in the global south. We do this all over the place. This chatter has been spouting Islamophobic shit. Let's see. Could still be crocodile tears. They change once elected. That is rough for sure, but you never know who someone is until after election. Tons of people flip. I could see where New York City would be afraid of Islam the most out of anywhere. Do you know? Read their first message. All recent New York governors are trash. I mean, yeah. Yes. I could see where NYC would be afraid of Islam the most out of anywhere. Yeah, because you are still equating 9/11 with a religion of 1 billion people. Awkward. Their first message is not on there. Their first message was their entire religion is based on killing. Okay. Do you know, and maybe I'm about to blow your mind, do you know that Christianity has by far and away resulted in more deaths in this world? Islam doesn't even come close. And yet, all of the conversation around extremism in religion, around how religion leads to people dying, is about Islam, is about Muslims, and not Christianity, which is fucking insane considering that no other religion comes close. And when we talk about anti-Semitism, when we talk about religion being used to oppress and kill Jews, we always leave Christianity out of the conversation. The fact that so many Jews in Europe were driven to immigrate to historic Palestine, and then when Israel was founded, went to Israel because of Christian oppression in Europe, oppression against Jews. Chatter wouldn't last 1 hour in New York without getting scared by all the diversity. Oh my God. Oh my God, man. What a sad life to lead, that you have been convinced by groups that have a vested interest in keeping you afraid because it makes them money. It brings them power. That you have been convinced that entire populations of people are your enemy and you don't even know them. Like, truly. That you will just monolith. You will monolith an entire region. And you'll spend your whole life afraid. And you'll spend your whole life cut off. Because someone benefits. Because the powers that be benefit from keeping you in fear. Being a trans Muslim revert isn't easy work, but it's fulfilling. Islam is not the enemy. Like, look, you guys, look. Extremism in all religion is bad. The institution of religion being an institution of control and power, I do not agree with that. And I think a lot of people would say that. But to characterize an entire religion and an entire population of people who follow that religion as extremists, as dangerous, as terrorists, as inhuman, is bad. Especially when you only do that about one religion because you've been raised with these falsehoods that because of the color of their skin and because of just deep-seated bigotries that exist, especially if you were born in the West, if you're raised in the West, that then you spend your life being a puppet for these fearmongers. Anyway, Joel, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. 27, thank you for the tier 1. Rehash, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Appreciate you guys. Okay. I have like less than an hour before I got to jump on this tech call, so I'm going to keep going, but man, I am just I don't know what it is like to be Muslim, but I have seen what my friends deal with on a daily basis. Like I deal with gross shit too. I don't really talk about the details of it, but the way that anti-Muslim bigotries are so normalized, not just on the internet, but in day-to-day life in America, in our very systems. They created Homeland and ICE in response to 9/11 as a part of this war on terror. So what we see now happening in the streets of Los Angeles, this is because of Islamophobia. How TSA changed, how mosques were surveilled, are still surveilled. How it is so okay, it's acceptable as a politician, as a media as somebody who's works in the media, to go on television and say the most racist shit about Muslims. I mean, look at what fucking Cuomo's super PAC, look at the mailer that they sent out where they know exactly what they're doing when they thicken and lengthen Zohran's beard. They know what they're doing. What they're doing is speaking to people's Islamophobia, their fear of brown people. where they go, ooh, look at the big scary terrorist. Ooh. Ooh. Guy doesn't even consider that those extremists have killed mostly Muslims in Syria. Those extremists are only mercenaries. To me, as a Palestinian, I learned to differentiate religion to people. Otherwise, I would hate all Abrahamic religions, since all three of them are abused in our region for political ambitions. Yeah. It's what they say about Palestinians, where they're like, Palestinians hate Jewish people because they hate them for their religion. Right? It's like Palestinians, terrorists. Oh yeah, they're born to hate Jewish people because of anti-Semitism. Like this is all they have said these things for years because of their political purposes. Because of how that allows them to treat Palestinians with total violence, to oppress them with the excuse of, well, they hate us. Chatter acting like only Muslims abuse women. Like, can we stop for a fucking second? Can we look at what's happening in the US? In this beacon of democracy, in the land of the free, the home of the brave? Do you see many groups of people who live in this country who are not well-to-do white people? White men? Cisgender white men? You're good, okay? You're fine. Especially if you are if you are not poor. There are so many groups in America whose rights are under attack. And yet, the same politicians who are attacking those rights will get up here and pretend that they give a shit about women in Iran, that they care about gay people in Palestine. No, they don't. I'm from Saudi Arabia. Let me tell you, our government's responsible for supporting extremism all around the world for years, while the support of the U.S. and represented as modernism. Yes, the U.S., they're buddy with Saudi Arabia. Donald Trump wants to strike a deal between the Saudis and Israel. Okay? It's like, these dangerous Muslim countries, except Saudi Arabia, Jared Kushner's has got a $2 billion deal. Oh, no. Oh, well, we've got our vested interests over there. Oh, Elon Musk is sitting with the crown prince. Oh, yeah, no, the billionaire corporate class and political class. Oh, no, they're cozy with Saudi Arabia, but are telling you that Iran is dangerous, is extreme, is, that's the problem over there. Yeah. Saudi Arabia murdered Jamal Khashoggi. And the U.S. was like, sorry, what? Anyway, okay. As I said, I have more stuff to get through. But, man, you know what? I hope Zohran wins. I do. I hope he fucking wins. Not just for Muslim representation, but because the people of New York City deserve somebody like him. We all deserve candidates who are like Zohran is the base, right? Like this is the minimum. We should all have candidates like this. Our politicians like this. Let this be the beginning, you know? Yeah, New York needs one mayor that's not corrupt. God. I live in Jersey. I've never been so annoyed that I live more in New York City than some in the Bronx, and I can't even vote for him. I know. I love the jealousy right now, which I have as well for people who live in New York who have the possibility of Zohran as their mayor, when it's like, oh, here in Los Angeles, we have fucking Karen Bass. Roast, thank you for the bits. It's even standard operating procedure for the federal government to ignore right-wing violence since Oklahoma City shooting. Or a city bombing. Yes. Yeah. When white domestic terrorists bombed Oklahoma City. When they murdered black people. Let's look at this piece in The Guardian, how the right spread brutal and cruel misinformation after Minnesota lawmaker killings. Tina Smith, a Minnesota senator, confronted Mike Lee, a Utah senator, on Monday to tell him directly that his social media posts fueled ongoing misinformation about a shooting that killed her friend. Lee's posts, which advanced conspiracies that a Minnesota assassin was a Marxist and blamed the state's governor for Melissa Hortman's death, were among many threads of false or speculative claims swirling online after the killings. Within hours of the shooting, right-wing social media accounts with millions of followers manufactured false conspiracy theories about the suspect and his motives, falsely portraying the man whose friends say he's an evangelical Christian Trump supporter. Oh, you mean how we've been talking about, evangelical extremism in the United States, of how it drives policy and also drives terrorism? And yet we're going to sit here and talk about how we have to go bomb Iran because of religious extremism over there? And this is what's happening in our own country. Falsely portraying the man whose friends say he's an evangelical Christian Trump supporter as a radical left-wing assassin and attempting to paint him as a political ally of Tim Walz, the Democratic governor and former vice presidential candidate. It was the latest example of a right-wing media ecosystem that swiftly spins up narratives that serve their political agendas after tragic events, regardless of accuracy, and does not correct them after further information shows them to be untrue or incomplete. It does not matter anymore. In fact, because they know it doesn't matter, they do this. Elected officials such as Lee and others often share in the spreading rumors, lending legitimacy to these claims. Colin Rugg, an engagement farmer on X, this guy fucking sucks. He presents himself as like a legitimate journalist. He is a disinformation peddler. He advanced a debunkable theory to his followers on X that Hortman was killed over healthcare policy for undocumented immigrants, implying that the violence came from the left. He shared a video that ping-ponged around the right-wing and internet of Hortman emotional, describing a vote to repeal healthcare eligibility for undocumented adults. Missing from the post was the context. Hortman supported this care, only voting for its repeal to pass a state budget deal in an evenly split state house. Hoffman, the state senator, had not voted to repeal the provision. Right-wing social media personality Mike Cernovich, with 1.5 million followers, escalated the lie by suggesting Walz ordered the assassination. He hasn't taken the post down and has continued to advance the claims, posting on Monday that Democrats know they are now seen as the party of political violence, so their propaganda agents are trying to shift the blame. It won't work. Cernovich is a convicted rapist. Yeah, isn't it amazing how so many of these guys, it's like massive disinformation, right-wing, right-wingers like Mike Cernovich, and being convicted rapists. Laura Loomer, the far-right conspiracy theorist and Trump whisperer, posted that Walz's goons are now assassinating lawmakers who support legislation that Walz opposes, and called the Democratic Party a terrorist organization. Loomer and others on the right also tried to tie Belter to the No Kings protests against the Trump administration. Officials found rudimentary signs in the suspect's vehicle that said No Kings, an indication he knew of the event, not that he would attend it as a protester. Yeah, wonder if that guy maybe was planning to go and kill people there. I don't know, considering that he fucking gunned down a lawmaker and her husband. Elon Musk, a frequent poster of unverified right-wing claims, amplified the narrative to his 200 million followers, tweeting claims that the left killed Hortman and saying the far left is murderously violent. The lies ignore overwhelming evidence of Belter's actual politics. His roommate David Carlson told reporters that Belter voted for Trump, was a strong supporter of the president. Other longtime friends told local media that Belter was right-leaning. While Minnesota voters don't list party affiliation, he was registered as Republican in Oklahoma in 2004. Belter's own recorded sermons expose his extremist views. Preaching in Congo in 2023, he's recorded as saying, "The churches are so messed up, they don't know abortion is wrong." He ranted against LGBTQ people as confused, claiming the enemy has gotten so far into their mind and their soul. His alleged hit list included abortion providers and pro-choice advocates. Yeah, this sounds like an extremist leftist for sure. Hates the LGBTQ, hates abortion. Influencers seized on Belter's appointment to a state board, branding him a Waltz appointee to misleadingly suggest a personal relationship. In reality, Belter was first appointed by Waltz's predecessor, who was a Democrat, in 2016 to a 60-member volunteer advisory board. Waltz did, however, renew the appointment in 2019, considered a routine administrative decision for one of hundreds of such positions. Waltz did not know Belter. It was the equivalent of calling a Sunday school volunteer an appointee of the bishop. Right-wing user Viva Frey, with more than 700,000 followers, posted a thread casting doubt on Belter being a Trump supporter. The account has continued to post about the shootings, attempting to tie Waltz to Belter and his wife, Jennifer. A different Jennifer Belter interned in Waltz's congressional office, though Frey has not accepted that as fact. I love that. You just go, nope, I don't accept that. Nope. Nuh-uh. Do you believe Governor Tim Walz spokesperson when they claim that the Jennifer Belter who interned for Tim Walz in 2010 is not the same Jennifer Belter who's married to suspected assassin domestic terrorist Vance Belter? The account asked in a poll. On Monday, posts showing a man at a protest with a shirt with a gun that says resist falsely claimed the man was Belter. Yeah, Lib, sorry, he's one of you. Keep saying he's not. No one believes you. Said one post that got more than 2 million views. The actual man in the picture debunked it, saying he was at a No Kings rally in Texas in the photo, making clear it was not Belter. Local Republican officials have largely not contributed to the rumors, in some cases pushing back on the narratives. Yeah, as they fucking should. Harry Niska, the Republican floor leader in the Minnesota House, said on X that he often has and will continue to criticize Walz's policies and rhetoric, but there is no responsible basis to attribute to him any of the evil acts committed by Vance Belter. What is happening? Live Tales Prophet, what is going on? What is going on with you? Man, I know this girl got famous. I know how this girl got famous. What's her celebrity connection? Barack Obama. All I know is she faked being Mormon. I just want to know her biggest collab without searching. I didn't fake being Mormon. Where the OG Kwan watchers at? Here in chat, and they will attest. Okay, Joel, thank you for 1, 2, 3, 4 more gifted subs. It was too project hold on, let me pull that up. He was he had been on Project Runway. His name was Arthur Falasa Alu. He was a successful fashion designer and former Project Runway contestant who had devoted his life to celebrating artists from the Pacific Islands. He had a nonprofit, I believe, and he was at the No Kings protest, and he was shot. He was shot by officers who were part of the peacekeeping team for the protest. Arthur, okay, so here's what happened. Here it is. So Arthur Falasa Alu was killed Saturday night when 2 men shot at a person allegedly brandishing a rifle at demonstrators. Salt Lake City police said it remained unclear Monday whether the individuals, one of whom identified himself as part of the peacekeeping team for the protest, were brought in by the event organizers or act on their own initiatives. I think that needs to be figured out. Arturo Gamboa never shot the rifle he pointed at protesters, but police arrested him on murder charges, said he created the dangerous situation that led to Alu's death. Police said they're investigating whether the man who shot at Gamboa and fatally hit Alu was justified in firing his gun. He has not been publicly identified. And this has not been on media at all. This has not been covered whatsoever. He Carl Moore, a 49-year-old Indigenous advocate, was filming the protest when 3 gunshots rang out through the crowd, estimated 10,000 people. Moore said he observed confusion among police as protesters hid behind barriers and took shelter. They don't know what they're looking for. They're just yelling, "What does he look like?" But yeah, he was a fashion designer. He had been on Project Runway. He was born in Hawaii, and he was killed at Okay, anyway, sorry. That went a little bit longer than I wanted to. Let's cover the ICE protests in Roblox. This is a piece that was written by Taylor Lorenz. Kids are protesting ICE in Roblox, which is... it's amazing. Civic theater happening online. Who would have thought? Not me. I'm clearly not tapped in enough. Kristi Noem is hospitalized. Oh, thank God her dogs finally got revenge. Are the dogs okay? Recently, some Roblox players have been conducting virtual immigration and customs enforcement raids. There have been Roblox players dressed as ICE agents that barged into other players' houses. They have arrested a user hiding in his kitchen and chased down another player while conducting Border Patrol surveillance. Roblox ICE agents hunted down a young player in his Roblox home, banging his door down. Tensions reached a boiling point, and last week, as thousands took to the streets to protest ICE in the offline world, Roblox players protested within the game, battling cops, breaking down barricades, waving Mexican flags, and facing off across a line of players dressed in police SWAT gear. Despite being primarily a children's game, Roblox has evolved into a sort of emergent civic theater for kids online. The game is now where thousands of children go to process major world news events through highly intricate role play. These simulations are how many young people experience news events, representing a shift towards more participatory forms of media. Simon Gutierrez, a 17-year-old high school student who organized yesterday's Roblox protests against ICE, said he wanted to attend the IRL No Kings protest this past weekend, but his older sister said no. So he staged a protest on Roblox to allow other young people to make their voices heard. A lot of young people really want to protest and put their words and beliefs out there, but are unable to, so this is the only thing that we can turn to. The ICE protests in Roblox have primarily taken place in Brookhaven, a massively multiplayer role-playing experience on Roblox. The experience's name is based on the real city of Brookhaven, Georgia, where offline ICE raids and protests are also taking place. Last Thursday, police arrested 6 people involved in anti-ICE protests in the IRL Brookhaven. Roblox's Brookhaven is the most visited Roblox experience ever, with 65 to 70 billion visits. Holy shit. And it has essentially become the internet's default metaverse where events in the real world often play out in-game. Since the initial ICE protests in Brookhaven last week, 6 more have been planned. Roblox users are posting dates and times on TikTok along with their usernames or Discord server links in order to coordinate and solicit attendance for the rallies. The response from TikTok users has been enthusiastic. This is not the first time Roblox has gotten political. In 2020, teenage Roblox users replicated the wave of protests against racial injustice and police brutality following George Floyd's murder. Roblox users have also protested Israel's assault on Gaza, staging pro-Palestine virtual protests in the fall of 2023. I didn't even know that was happening, or I would have covered it. One pro-Palestine protest was visited more than 275,000 times. The protests against ICE have not yet reached that scale. In-game activism also isn't an entirely new phenomenon. Even before Roblox, children mobilized in other game-centric communities. In 2016, Club Penguin users protested Donald Trump's election. Some kids used their avatars to express political dissent at a time when they weren't even old enough to vote. Players in Animal Crossing and Roblox also staged protest events, pushing Hong Kong's pro-democratic movement in 2020. Roblox boasts about 85 million daily active users globally. In December 2022, more than 4 in 10 Roblox gamers were 12 years or younger, and 60% of users were under the age of 16, according to data from Roblox. But there are signs that the platform's demographic might be slowly shifting. While 32 million players, about 40% of Roblox's daily users, are still under the age of 13, according to the company, 21% are between the ages of 17 to 24, and 18% are now over the age of 25. The user base is aging up, and with older teens and young adults now making up a larger share, there's been demand for more mature content and experiences. Role-playing real-world events allows young people to experiment with their identity and political agency in a low-stakes environment. A recent study by Cornell tracking kids aged 8 to 13 found that in-game roleplay and avatar customization helped kids explore their identities. Roblox, according to some kids I talked to, feels like a test drive for the adult world. Because of social media, kids today are simply more aware of the news than they were in previous generations. Young people see these major events taking place in the offline world and they want to participate. You mean young people are citizens of today? You mean they know, they see what's going on, that you can't keep them from seeing what's happening in this world? Roblox gives them a space to do that, whether it's protesting or expressing your emergent political identity as a Trump-supporting ICE agent. I sure hope not. You know what I hope? I hope that any kids who come from families that are like, yay, ICE, yay, Trump, and they're in Roblox role-playing as a Trump-supporting ICE agent, I hope that they actually then go, you know what? I don't like doing this. This is mean. I'm a bad guy. This is really cruel. Fuck ICE. Like that these kids come in going, oh yeah, my daddy says that Trump is good and that ICE is good. And then they role play as ICE and they're like, wait, ICE is bad. My younger brother. Oh, wait. My friend has a job on Roblox. She applied and got hired. That's amazing. There's also, okay, wait. A lot of participants are exploring and trying to see what they politically identify as. Gutierrez noted that the players role-playing as ICE agents within the game are also children. Jesus. There's also the social aspect of it. Not only does participating in these events offer community, usually orchestrated through Discord servers, but there's social clout to participating and posting about a viral event. Posts on TikTok about the ICE protests have amassed thousands of views on TikTok and YouTube. Look, I'm not about bullying, but bullying kids out of supporting ICE because their families do, well, all I'm saying is that maybe social pressures that kids feel in Roblox around supporting ICE, around, oh, I'm going to role play as ICE because ICE is cool. And then they're experiencing a loss of clout. They're experiencing social pressures to not support ICE. Maybe bullying isn't always bad. Maybe. As Roblox continues to grow in popularity and relevance, I'm definitely watching the evolution of Brookhaven specifically. Brookhaven won 2 Roblox Innovation Awards in 2024, one for Best Roleplay Live Sim and one for Best Social Hangout. It was also nominated for Favorite Video Game at the Kids' Choice Awards in 2022 and 2023. There are entire TikTok accounts solely dedicated to the happenings in Brookhaven, and even emergent news channels like Brookhaven News Official that acts as local news channels for the game. What? Hold on, I need to see this. Breaking news. Pursuit ends in shots fired at Dogwood neighborhood in Brookhaven. First comment, my grandma believed this. Oh God. ICE Border Patrol in Dogwood neighborhood in Brookhaven during protest against ICE. Breaking news. Let me see. Breaking news. ICE raid took man out of house and man tried to fight the ICE raid. Blurred at 32 seconds. Wait, where's the 32 seconds? Hold on. Yes, these are kids. These are kids that are enacting this in Roblox. Like, this is how they process the news. This is how they're forming their political identities. Okay, let me look at that after I finish this. It's like their political identities are emerging earlier than, certainly I remember in my generation of millennials, and that's because of their digital access. It's because that they are online and they are aware of things in a way that older generations at their age weren't, unless, like, I don't know, you were a kid in World War II and your country was right. It's like Yeah, okay, then you're aware of war when that's something like that is happening. But, I was saying, I'm sorry, I hate repeating myself when it's like, okay, podcast is coming out on Thursday. But I did say this on the podcast where when I was in high school, I was much more politically aware and active than most of my peers because of my family, worked on the Obama campaign, whatever, hope and change. I didn't know dick about shit about dick. I didn't know about ICE. You know what I mean? I didn't know about Palestine. I didn't know about these issues that kids are like literally role playing protests of in Roblox. And I was like I had much more political acumen than my average peer. I predict that digital protests will have greater offline political impact as the digital realm increasingly becomes default reality. And it will be interesting to see what effect digital political expression in games like Roblox has on young people as they develop their nascent political ideologies. These Roblox protests are now many young people's first form of political engagement. And I wonder how much these online in-game experiences are shaping their views of the offline world. Rather than freak out that kids, including some under the age of 12, are participating in political events online, Dr. Ki Nishiyama, a lecturer at Kaichi International University, has argued that we should foster young people's digital political engagement. No matter how we adults, or those who have political power, try to depoliticize children's online experience, children can politicize it in an unpredictable fashion. Especially as we act as if kids shouldn't be political when adults are politicizing their existences. You take a trans kid, for instance. You're going to tell a trans kid not to be political, not to be aware of what's going on when their rights, when their existence is being threatened by these adults who are seeking to control them, who don't want them to have access to the internet, who don't want them participating in civic theater in protest. Nishiyama told Dazed, rather than depoliticize children's experience, we have to acknowledge that children can be political. In other words, they are not future citizens, but citizens of today. We are, or like the children of immigrants. We're going to sit there and act as if they have no choice. Or we're going to sit there and act as if they have a choice about engaging politically. Come on. We are children of the internet, one young Roblox player said in the same story. It's what we use to navigate and understand the world. Gutierrez said, instead of doubting the Roblox protesters, people should try to understand where they're coming from. Since Gutierrez's first protest against ICE went well, and he's posted about it on TikTok, he has been flooded with requests to stage another one. He's planning another one, likely for next week. So that this is what Taylor posted today. On Monday, I reported on anti-ICE protests taking over Roblox. One of the kids I interviewed texted me this morning to share that the Roblox protesters are now facing police violence. Hello, I was in a Roblox ICE protest, but then we all got shot by the police. What the fuck? I shouldn't be laughing, but I don't know how else to interpret reality. So obviously, this is happening in the game. Okay, these kids aren't being shot. Well, not these kids aren't. Cops do shoot kids, but these kids aren't being shot by the police. They're being shot by the police in Roblox, in a video game. However, what do you think that this teaches kids, right? How do you think kids are understanding what's happening offline by what's happening online when their experience is, oh, we are protesting. We're not doing anything wrong. We're not hurting anybody. And then the cops came in and shot us all. What do you think that teaches them about how cops treat civilians that are out protesting in the U.S.? Jill, for future generations. That's what it's all about, right? Each generation should hand down a world that is better than the one that we experienced. We are not doing that. Starts with actually aggressively combating climate change, caring for this world that we are going to, that we enter and then we leave, and we leave it behind for the next generations. But anyway, okay, I have to go. I have to jump on a tech call. So just an FYI that I'm going to be live for the next show at 2:00. So that's the show that I did in April. So I have a new group of contestants that are competing to be next top streamer. Yay. So I will be doing that, which is why I wanted to stream early this morning. And then my parents are coming. So most likely I'm going to do another morning stream tomorrow, probably Friday as well. And then my parents leave on Saturday. So I think I'm going to do a night stream. So I think Thursday, Friday will be morning streams, and then the weekend we will be in the evening. Thanks for the stream. No, thank you guys for being here, and thank you for supporting. Thank you for supporting with subs, with watching, with your comments, with everything. And I will catch ya. I will catch ya on the flip. Let me see who I am going to send us over to. I'm going to send us over to the Surfs TV. How about that? The Surfs TV. Okay, there we go. The Surfs TV. Take care of yourself. Have a great rest of your day. Please don't doom scroll too much. Please go outside if you can. Take a walk. Do something that's not just it's not just having your eyes glued to Twitter or watching nonstop political coverage all day. You got to take breaks, okay? You got to let your body and soul rest up. And that's the way to do it, okay? All right. Goodbye. I will see you later.